You're going to be excited to learn that you can buy a house just like this one I'm going to walk you around, I'm going to walk you through, and it's an owner-financed home. You don't need a bank, you don't need a mortgage company, you don't need a credit check, a background check, a job history check. You're just going to have to write a check. I'm going to show you how to find them and how to negotiate the best offer. My name is Wayne Turner. For nearly 30 years, I've bought, flipped, built, and I've helped thousands of people purchase homes just like this one. I share that with you so you can have the confidence knowing that what you learn from me is from actual tried and true experience. So grab a pen and a piece of paper. You're going to want to write this down. Now, if you're like me, you see so much stuff on the internet and you can't believe what you hear half the time. So you want to know that what you learn is from someone that's actually been there and done that. That's why I started doing these videos years ago. And as far as buying a home like this, I too have done that. 15 years ago, I went through a divorce. Credit was beat all to pieces, couldn't get bank loans. Been selling real estate now for 30 years, and I had to purchase a house this way. It was a good thing because I didn't have to have a credit check, a background check, or a job history check. I just wrote a check, and that check is typically for around 10% of the purchase price of the property. However, it is negotiable. Some sellers may say, no, I won't take no more than 20%, or no, I won't take any more than 15%. But you just have to know that the answer is always no until you ask. And even if a seller says, no, I won't do that, you can still make them an offer and show them proof of funds. That's the key. You can make an offer on these properties, but you want to make sure that with the offer showing proof that you want to buy it, you also need to show proof that you can buy it by having money in the bank. Now, I know what you may be thinking, Wayne, if I got money in the bank, why do I need to do this? I can just put money down on a piece of property. Or you could pay your credit cards down, or you could pay off a balance. You could do a lot with that cash to increase your credit score, because if you can get your credit score at a 620, that's the baseline for which you can get an FHA, VA, conventional loan. But go with me here. Oftentimes, if you go through any kind of late pays, 30, 60, 90-day lates, if you have any kind of collections, or perhaps you're self-employed, you went from a salaried position to now you're self-employed, you started your own business, and you got to have 2 years of seasoned income. If you don't have that 2 years of seasoned income, regardless of how much money you have, they want to see proof not only that you have the credit, but you can actually pay for the monthly payment. Now, if you're like me, you're probably a little impatient and you're probably thinking, Wayne, just where can I find these? Well, these homes are not readily, easily to find if you're looking around Zillow or Realtor.com. Those are great sites for searching property, of course. However, there's not a filter for which you can actually go and find these types of properties. Real estate agents have a means to which they can search these properties. So I always tell people, you don't have to have an agent. You can buy a home without an agent. But if you want to find these homes, they can give you a list within 5 minutes. If you need an agent, you can go to contactwayne.com. When you go to contactwayne.com, click the little button that says buying, shoot me your information. We don't share that with anybody, and we can reach out to you and connect you with an agent in your hometown, your city. Now, this house right here is $435,000. I'm going to walk you through it here in just a second. It's absolutely gorgeous, completely redone on the inside, and it's empty. It's vacant. And you also have to know that a home like this is 2,800 square feet, 4 bedrooms, 2.5 baths, 3 baths. It's on 4.5 acres of land. When I say it's vacant, I always tell people it's open for immediate possession. You have to understand, when you buy houses like this, all you need is about 7 to 10 days to do an inspection. I always buy a house with an inspection. Get an inspection on a home. But after you purchase these homes, you do an inspection, you make an offer to purchase, you do the inspection. If there's anything wrong, you simply ask the seller to fix it. 90% of the time, the seller will fix those items for you, and you can close within 2 weeks. 2 weeks. These houses, you got cash, you can close within 2 weeks. As mentioned, you don't need credit check, background check, job history check. You just have to write a check. Most of the time, they want anywhere from 10 to 20%. But as I'd mentioned, it's negotiable. But that's not the only thing that's negotiable. There's also terms. Now, when you hear terms and owner's terms, that's not necessarily means that the owner is not negotiable. Everything is negotiable. If a homeowner on a property says, yeah, we want 20% down, 8%, you could still make them an offer and say, this is what I got. I got 7% interest. I can only do 15% down. They're going to tell you yes or no. Remember what I always say. The answer is always no unless you ask. Now, they'll typically put that on a 30-year amortization like a typical mortgage, and they'll put a rate on that anywhere from 1 to 2% above the current rate. So if the rates are 7%, they may want 8%. They may want 8.5%. Once again, that's negotiable. But you have to understand this. It's not so much the cost of the money, it's the availability of the money. Because once you're putting money down on a property, say 10% on a $400,000 home, you're putting $40,000 down. When you put $40,000 down, your balance is $360,000. Your payment is based on that $360,000. That $40,000 is your money. It's just in that house. So that's equity. Now, a lot of people say, Wayne, can I make improvements to the property? Absolutely, you can make improvements to the property. You can paint, you can do anything you want to with these homes when you purchase them, because they're your home. Your name's gonna go on the deed, your name's gonna go on the title on these owner financed homes. Basically, the seller is acting like the mortgagor, just like a traditional bank. Now, there's two more things that you need to be aware of, and it's just simply questions to ask. Can you sell the property? Most of the time you can, but once again, everything's negotiated, so you have to make sure that you can sell the property. Some investors will buy homes, they'll make improvements to the home. Maybe they buy a foreclosure, they fix it up. After they fix it up, part of their retirement is to sell you a home owner's terms. It's much easier to do that as opposed to putting a renter in it. So you're going to earn 8% on your money if you're a homeowner selling your property this way, and they'll put a prepayment penalty on it if you refinance too early or if you sell the property. A good rule of thumb is to always ask. When in doubt, ask the question. Always make sure you have it in writing. Remember, if it's not in writing, it doesn't happen. Now, before you get too excited, make an offer on a home, close on it, move in, because listen, I'm the same way. That's why I've made a lot of mistakes, because I'm like, yeah, let's go, let's do that, let's make it happen. Now I'm excited to share all the mistakes that I made, so you don't have to make those mistakes. I always tell people, listen, learn from others people's mistakes. That way you don't have to bang your head on the wall if they've already done it. It'll save you a lot of stress, a lot of time, and most importantly, money. So here's what you do. When you find a home that you like, you'll have a due diligence period to have it inspected. You always want to inspect the property. But you can take it a step further and ask the seller to pay for you a home warranty, which will cover the central heat and air units, which is great if they're 7, 8, 10 years old. Something goes wrong, you just basically log into a website, they send out a service provider to fix those items. You also, in your due diligence period, need to make sure you have a copy of the survey. You have to understand you're buying this property. When you're buying this property, you need to know where the meets and the bounds are. This property that I'm walking on is 4.5 acres, but I don't know where it begins and ends. You need to know that. I mean, a survey is going to tell you that. And listen, there's a plot of land, but the plat is actually showing you the survey, the meets and bounds, how much footage is on the road, that's called road frontage, and how far it goes back. That way you can walk the property with a homeowner and you can see if there's any encroachments on the property. But you need to do a little bit more than just walking the property. You see, these homes are done and closed legally with a closing attorney or title company. Regardless of your state, it's legally done, closed, and documented. It's your home. However, you want to make sure that you get a survey and that you know that survey is up to date. If it's a real old survey, you want to walk the property. The last thing you want to do is to buy a home like this. It's owner's terms. You're excited, you love it, and you only find out that instead of 4.5 acres, the neighbor behind you has taken up 3 acres that they have cattle on. Seen that happen, or the storage building, or a garage, or a fence, or a pool. You just want to make sure before you close on any home, regardless of how you get financing, that you get a survey and you make sure that there's no back taxes, liens, encumbrances, easements, or anything like that on the home. Now, I know what you may be thinking, Wayne, that seems real stressful. How do I know how to do all that? If you've got a good real estate agent, they can help you, walk you through the whole process. You don't have to have an agent. People ask me, well, Wayne, doesn't it cost you for an agent? Not necessarily, because a good agent can negotiate with the seller to actually have their fee paid on your behalf. You see, you're doing the seller a favor by buying their house. And most of the time when homes are listed, the seller is under the understanding that if somebody comes to buy my home and they have an agent, I may have to compensate them for bringing the buyer to my home. So you just have to know how that works. Now, when you look at surveys and insurance and all of that stuff, the real estate agent's going to help you through that process. Once again, you don't have to have an agent. You can go straight to the closing attorney. You can go straight to a title company. They're going to help you pull all of that information, but you need to make sure that in the contract it says that there's not going to be any back taxes, liens, encumbrances, or anything like that. And that's where the attorney comes in. The closing attorney, the title company will pull all of that, do research for you. Now, there is a fee for that. It typically runs you $400 to $500, and that's what they're going to charge you to close the house. Now, I'm going to walk you through this house. Like I said, it's empty, it's vacant, and I'm going to share with you and point out a couple of features. Once again, a home like this you can close literally in 2 weeks. So this, you can see, is a big main bedroom. And if you've watched any of my videos, I'm really big on natural light, add light. So you've got doors there, you have 2 windows here, bed can go on that side, bed can go on that side. Plus you're looking up at the driveway at the front of the house. You've got a little patio out here. Now in the bathroom, you'll see they did a really good job at double vanities. And listen, I'm gonna put a link to this property so you can click on it and actually see inside pictures and all that stuff. But they did some really cool tile. It's got a big walk-in closet here. All of the colors are neutral. It's got all new lighting, all new paint. I'll show you upstairs in a second. There's a feature up there that is really nice if you work from home. Utility room, and then this is big open kitchen. So you can see big open kitchen in this house. Many of these homes, owner financing, they are vacant where people have bought them. This was an investment property. People purchased this home. They completely fixed it up. They total renovation, white cabinets, stainless appliances. I mean, can you see the view off the back? It's absolutely gorgeous. And then you have this big den. So this is really cool. Wood burning fireplace. And I want to take you upstairs. So this one's new paint, new roof. All of this stuff is new on this house. It has 2 bedrooms down. It's a big selling feature. You have a bedroom there, which is massive. You've seen that. That's the main. Then you got a bedroom here. Plus you got an eat-in kitchen, big den. But check this out. So there's 2 more bedrooms up here. So once we get up here, we got rooms to the left, rooms to the right. This one has a big room. And that's the dormer that you've seen. I mean, every room has walk-in closets. How cool is that? Pass back through here. There's the steps. Can you see this bath? Double vanities. Tile. Really nice. Double windows. Like this house, I'm guessing is probably about 40 years old, but it looks brand new. But I love the fact that they put lots of natural light when they built the home. Now this, check this out. So this is another room. And this is what a lot of people would call a bonus room. So below us is not a garage. That's the main bedroom, that part of the house. But check this out. So now you got a window here that overlooks the back of the house, right? You got a window here that overlooks the front of the house. So that means you had 2 bedrooms down, 2 bedrooms up, plus this room. This is a 5-bedroom house if you wanted to use it as a 5-bedroom house. But so many more people are working from home. Now, if you notice, I had to walk through one room to get to this room, and if you don't like that, I got a solution for you. You simply pay a contractor, or if you are a contractor, you see that right there? You put a deck and a patio right there, you have steps going down, you just got a home office that's totally separate. You can pull in your driveway, you can go in and out, you can have that door closed, and this home office is yours. Or you could just make it a media room. The point I'm trying to make is you don't have to go through that room to get to the other room if you wanted to use this house as a home office. Now there are a few more things that I need you to be aware of, and that's flood insurance, that's homeowner's insurance, and that's utilities. Before you purchase any property, it's a good idea to find out, is it in a flood zone? There's A, B, and C flood zone. You just need to verify the flood zone. If it's in a flood zone, that doesn't necessarily mean that the house is flooded, but it's always a good rule of thumb to know the flood zone, because if it is in a flood zone, you'll want to have flood insurance on the property. Now, if it's in flood zone A, you're at a higher risk. If it's in flood zone C, you're at a much lower risk. Flood insurance on this home, if it was in flood zone C, this home's not in a flood zone, but if this home was in flood zone C, the insurance on that would cost you about $700 a year. As far as utilities, you just need to know what's the high and the low. Does it have gas? If it has gas, what's the high on the utility bill for the gas? What's the low? If it's electric, what's the high, what's the low? If it's on city water, what's the high, what's the low? It helps you budget, because you need to look at payment, but you also need to look at, in addition to your monthly payment that you're going to be paying the homeowner for the home that you just bought from them, what are the utility costs? What are the insurance costs? You can do the same thing with homeowners insurance. Ask them what they're paying in homeowners insurance. You also want to look at the taxes. How much are the taxes on the property? Because these are things that are going to be regular monthly cost. I'm Wayne Turner. I thank you for watching this video. If you have any questions, any comments, please leave them. Let us know if there's more information that you want to hear when it comes to real estate. Until the next time, God bless.